self-development has to be very intentionally done. It cannot be done just ad hoc. And for me, it all depended on the stage of my career development I was going through. Now, if I give you an example, when I was in private practice, most of my personal development was in the legal space until the time I decided now I want to shift gear and go more into a career that allows me to do more social development in some form. I didn't know what it was. And that is when I was thinking maybe I need to do women's rights or something like that, something different, or human rights generally. That is the time I registered for the Gender and Development Program at the University of Nairobi. And that allowed me to appreciate that women's rights space even more than I had before during my legal training, although I had basic training. And I also acted quite a bit to support women who are in distress, child support, divorces and all that. Some of them cannot afford fees. So I used to work with FIDA quite a bit, and Kituo cha Sheria. Now, so you identify based on what your goals are. I did that, and then I was ready to move on to another space. And I really wanted to do something to do with women's rights. But then when equity came, and I understood equity supports the financially included. Majority of them are women. It fitted perfectly in my space and in my personal goal. And I felt it was very well aligned. So, but when I joined equity in 2004, I got a shock because this is a financial institution. It's a completely, totally different ball game from my legal practice, where I was in comfort zone. So I had to learn the basics of banking. I had to learn the basics of financial, anything finance, interpreting financials, accounts, and I did a lot of that. And that's when I also did a lot of programs, Strathmore Business School. I did the advanced management program. And then I became the company secretary. And I was sitting on the board as a secretary. Now, I needed to understand more the governance principles. That is when now I went to Strathmore again, and I did programs like the effective director and a few other governance-related programs, just to make me more familiar with that space and make me very good at what I'm doing. Because I think the idea is whichever area you decide to focus on, become the best, become a master in that area. And that is what I chose to become. I am good in governance. I can brag. And then when I got the role of strategy, and we started doing the regional businesses. We started with Uganda, and then South Sudan, Rwanda, Tanzania, and then DRC. It was important for me to improve my leadership skills. So that is when now I also did a few leadership programs. Eventually I did the Masters in Innovation, Leadership and Change from York University to be able to better that area. So it all depends on what you're dealing with. When I got the role of the Group Executive Director, now to oversee the regional subsidiaries, I needed to improve now my global leadership skills, because now I'm leading in the region. Different cultures, different aspects and views, and so I really needed to be good for that role. That's when I did the Harvard AMP program. So what is important is, at whatever stage we are, we try to figure out what leadership skills do I need, what technical skills do I need, and then what general knowledge do I need to be able to do very well in this space, and then work towards building those capabilities by one program or another.